Alright, welcome to the video. I started recording this a few months ago, but it wasn't recording desktop audio, so of course. But we're reacting to MacDonald Sheeple, and we're just going to get right in it. A lot of the left is going to criticize me because a lot of the left doesn't like MacDonald, and if y'all didn't know, I am a leftist after all. An actual leftist, not a liberal. Liberals are right wing, but it's really a social thing. Liberalism is a social skill. Capitalism and socialism is the economic skill, and what I call left wing and right wing. Right wing. If you're left wing, you're socialist and communist, or either one. Depends on how far left you are. If you're right wing, you're capitalist or corporatist or whatever other ideologies are on the right wing. I just mostly acknowledge capitalism and socialism, ignore most other economic ideologies. But we're going to get right into this. I'm rambling way too much. It's already been a minute. Let's go.
Humans been controlled since the day that they were civilized. The truth has been so heavily politicized. If you don't know who's controlling you and killing all the little guys, find out who you're not allowed to criticize.
Yeah, the people that are controlling you, it would be the, don't really want to say government because, let me see how I want to word this. Because it sort of is a government, but it has a lot to do with the money, how they're funded. They're funded by the corporations, so it's really the corporations that are controlling you. And now the laws are really just, there is no actual freedom in America. The laws are just, they try to control your personal life, and they never go after corporations. It's all about regulating the working man. That's all it's about.
Black folks who were never ever actual slaves, fighting with white folks who ain't actual Nazis, controlled by rich folks who use the news to make hate.
Rich folks that use the news just to hate. Yep, that's mainstream media, whether it's Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, all of them. NBC, One American News, all funded by the same rich people, and then they act like they're any different. They're all capitalists. They're all right-wing capitalism. That's all they are. And they may be a little bit different, like Fox News is propaganda for Republicans, and CNN's propaganda for Democrats. And if you cannot tell, I oppose the Democratic Party too, because the majority of them are right-wing liberals that are complete idiots and complete fascists. And fascism is a social ideology that has to do with nationalism, racism, militarism, all of that. Terrible stuff. So
All elite folks control other political parties. It's a big lie, trying to make you pick sides.
yeah, the rich control both parties. They're all funded by the same corporations. The Democrats are even funding Trump-appointed or Trump-backed candidates in the midterms, so that a progressive Democrat would not win the Democratic primary or make it to office, because a lot of progressive Democrats beat the liberal Democrats out of the general election. So Kentucky, for example, we got Charles Booker. Hopefully he'll beat Rand Paul, but not too much of a chance because Rand Paul's funded by the corporations. Charles Booker's funded by grassroots. So let's continue.
Trying to make you burn the cities down and kill each other. They got sick minds, big lies, deep on.
He's talking about the Black Lives Matter riots, and the truth about those is most of them were peaceful protests. There was a few that were violent due to Antifa, which is anti-fascist. They're anarchists. It's an anarchist group, which I wouldn't really call terrorists because they're just going after capitalist businesses. They weren't going after any of the actual people. They didn't hurt just innocent people. They just looted the stores. But I still don't actually support them. I don't support them. don't really agree with anarchism just because I don't really think it could work. I don't agree with communism either because I don't think it'd work either. I'm more lean into anarchism, but I still believe you have to have a government to keep things in order, not like a dictatorship like China or something. By the way, China's state capitalism, not socialism.
On the police so that there's big crime to take a.
They did not defund the police. They defunded them for like a day in one city, and then they went back to pour money into them. And look at the Democrats. He's talking about the Democrats. The Democrats are funding the police just as much as the Republicans are. They are not anti-police whatsoever. Defund the police is opposed by most Democrats, and it's even opposed by most progressives. I happen to be an advocate for defund the police. I also support abolishing the police, but a lot of the progressives don't. The progressives in Congress, anyway. I feel like a lot of people further to the left may support defund the police, but like the social democrats like Bernie Sanders, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ilhan Omar, I'm not sure if AOC and Ilhan support or oppose defund the police, but actually I think AOC supports it. Bernie Sanders, he opposes defund the police. I don't agree with him, but still, it's still like Bernie. But let's continue.
Away our freedom to restore order they let die. Play with people, turn men into women, make the.
And transphobic comments. So yeah, that's what they are. Turn men into women. That is none of your business. If they are over 18, and I would argue even if they're under 18, they should be allowed to socially transition and take puberty blockers, because puberty blockers just blocks your puberty. And if you decide that you're not transgender, or you realize you're not transgender, you can get off the puberty blockers and just have a late puberty. It's not hurting the child whatsoever. It's actually helping them. A lot of people with gender dysphoria suffer from suicidal thoughts and depression, and so socially transitioning would be best for them, but it also should be left up to the child, the parent, and the doctor together to decide what is best for that child. But when it comes to people 18 and over, it's their business, and the state has no right to interfere in it. They don't in under 18 either, except for when it comes to surgically transitioning, because that's an irreversible decision, and someone under 18 should not be making an irreversible decision. So let's continue. And by the way, gender is a social construct, no matter what this reactionary has to say about it.
Counterculture mainstream to mix up the system.
Man, I'm not sure what kind of argument he's making here. Is that a good thing? Is he making the argument that the right wing is creating counterculture or whatever to make the system better or mix up the system? Or is he talking about the left wing and saying that that's a bad thing? Or I'm not even sure what he's talking about here. But the counterculture is a culture that opposes neoliberalism, neoconservatism, imperialism, all of that. Supports drug legalization, opposes the police. Well, I'm not 100% sure how much of the counterculture opposes defunding the police, and I don't really think a lot of them actually support legalizing all drugs, just marijuana. I support legalizing all drugs and removing all prisoners that were convicted solely of drug offenses to be released. And I did not word that how I meant to.
Change the pronouns. If gender is a spectrum, so is privilege.
Oh my God! If you don't have the decency, the human decency to respect someone's pronouns, then that's on you, dude. None of my business. But still, how hard is it to call someone they, them, or if they're a transgender woman, she, her, or if they're a transgender man, he, him. And a lot of politics ignores the fact that there exists trans men, probably because of the roots in transphobia and or not transphobia and sexism, because women transitioning to men, you can't have that. But yeah, so but what, I'm getting all lost here. I have to pause it. But as I was saying, the government, or he, it's up to him what people recognize as, and it's none of his business. And if he doesn't want to respect that, then okay. I mean, it's supposed to be a free country at least. Let's continue.
I know poor white folks and black celebrities with millions. They starve you.
Yeah, though, yeah, white privilege is not a spectrum. White privilege refers to the fact that white people are less likely to be killed by police. That's literally all it is. And the fact that they're less likely to be poor. I mean, it's today's society that's kind of changed because it kind of started with no, that's not really true. That's about the middle class, because there were still poor people before the middle class was created in like the 40s or whenever it was. But let's continue.
With a lack of information and only give you facts through a branded corporation.
Total facts. That's literally all. That's literally all our media is. Just look at the war in Ukraine, for example. They're ignoring, and now probably going to get a lot of flack from this, even from the left, because a lot of the left supports funding imperialism and funding NATO and such. I even know a communist that supports doing that. And the Social Democrats are all for it because they love kissing the liberals' butts. I like Social Democrats, I like the progressives, but when push comes to shove, they always kiss the butts of progressive. Every time Joe Biden says he's going to do the bare minimum, they're like, oh my God, Joe Biden, you're the best. And just, he's currently trying to pardon marijuana users or whatever. I didn't word that right. You get the point. But won't legalize it, so yeah, kind of pointless, or well, not really pointless, but still, he should be going further, not just the bare minimum. But let's also look at the past, when he's the one that made marijuana just as high on the substance list as heroin. He's the one that did it with his 1970s crime bill. I think it was the 70s. Sorry, a lot of fact. I've learned a lot of stuff, and all the facts get jumbled around. But he even said that we'll do this crime bill will be so tough, it will fall short of hanging a man for jaywalking. So that's Joe Biden for you, or should I say Joe Brandon?
Distort your worldview with an algorithm that changes based on propaganda curate.
Yeah, that's another fact about the mainstream media. Propaganda curated by an algorithm.
For your engagement. We can't be free. Can't have no peace till we're on the same team, but y'all are sheep.
Yeah, until we move away from capitalism. The working class has to unite and put aside our arguments of social issues and overthrow the capitalist system, even if it's just transitioning to social democracy.
Blue screen's just part of the machine. Y'all are sheeple. What do y'all believe? Oh, my sheeple. Nothing's what it seems.
A lot of people say Tom MacDonald doesn't have good courses and things. I mean, I agree with him sometimes, but he's pretty good a lot of the time.
Hollywood been rotting your brain, controlling your mouth.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. He's probably talking about the woke nonsense, but I also want to talk about the woke nonsense. Because Hollywood pretends to be woke while they're capitalizing off of people. You can't be woke and support the capitalist system and also engage in a capitalist system. They're just feeding you what you want, what the left wants to see, and the liberals and progressives what they want to see, just so they can capitalize off of them. That's literally how it works. That's why there's Pride Month and Black History Month and all of that stuff. All those months. They don't care about minorities. They care about exploiting minorities to capitalize off of them. So that's how the system works, and that's America, and that's why there's so many advertisements on TV, and not even to get into the thing about pharmaceutical companies and the ads that they propagandize you by, just so Pfizer can make a little bit more money. And yeah, I'm going after Pfizer because Pfizer, BioNTech, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, COVID vaccine, all they did was profiteer off of it.
Say lit, fleet, bet, cap, they trying to dumb you down. They endorse whatever narrative is popular to shout, and you...
Yeah, they do that too. Just look at the war in Ukraine. You can't question it, otherwise you're called a Russian apologist, which I get called by the left a lot.
Use minorities in movies for diversity clout. Two sides.
Yeah, the diversity thing. Now, I'm not saying in diversity in movies because there still needs to be diversity, but all it is just a corporation trying to capitalize off people. He's just doing his reactionary nonsense. I don't know if he supports it or is against it, but if he against black people being represented in media, that I would question whether that's racist or not.
On the spectrum, but ain't none of them honest. Took the red pill and the blue pill, spit them both in the garbage.
Oh, yes, totally agree. The red pill and the blue pill are full of crap. The Democrats and the Republicans are both idiots. They're all just the same people, funded by the same corporations and everything. I love that line. That is wonderful.
Being woke used to mean you understood you're a target, and now it's having...
Wait, what? What? Being woke used to mean you understood you're retarded?
Blue pill, spit them both in the garbage. Being woke used to mean you understood you're a target, and now...
Oh, you're a target. I thought you said you're retarded. But yeah, I kind of agree with him here. He's got a point. Let's see. Let's let him finish.
I was having two good legs and never taking a step forward.
I don't know about that, but I thought he was going to say that corporations are making it where just capitalizing off of being woke. But yeah, that's what being woke is. Just understanding you're a target and the system doesn't give a crap. The system's designed to exploit you and use you.
If you agree it's free speech, disagree it's hate speech, erase it if it can't...
I'm against hate speech, but otherwise I'm a free speech absolutist. People should be allowed to tell any kind of joke they want. I don't really care. I know there is a lot of cancel culture on the left. It's just liberal brain rot, not neoliberal, because neoliberal is globalism. But let's continue.
From anywhere except the mainstream. Trump supporters labeled as the racist, but they can't be.
Trump supporters are labeled as the racists. I don't think all Trump supporters are racist. I would say a lot of them aren't, but because I actually know a lot of people that are. I know one person that is socially progressive and they support Trump, and I know two people that are reasonable in some areas and they support Trump. There is a lot. Trump supporters are very diverse. You can find a socialist Trump supporter. If you look hard enough, I'm sure you can. And what about the communist Trump supporters? They may be socially conservative, well, Trump's not even socially conservative. He's sort of moderate, but sort of fascist. I don't really know how I'd consider that there. That's the problem with putting fascism on a social scale, because he's kind of moderate when it comes to the LGBT issues, but then he's kind of fascist too. And Joe Biden's kind of liberal, and he's also kind of fascist, so I don't know.
Lincoln was Republican, and that's who ended slavery.
Yeah, but Lincoln's plan was not to end slavery, and I even know Republicans that admit to this, but I don't really care whether Republican voters are racist or not. The Republican Party is just awful. They're corrupt and very authoritarian, even more authoritarian than the Democratic Party. So, and they're pretty authoritarian because trying to force the vaccine and the thing when it comes to trying to ban nicotine. Yeah, that's what the Biden administration's trying to do. A war on nicotine, as if the war on drugs wasn't bad enough.
Science been politicized, it's easy to see. A mask became a symbol of which side you believe. But
yeah, that's because Republicans are idiots on that part. Believing Donald Trump when said the virus isn't real. I want to see what his opinion on this.
You'll never cure a sickness till you cure the greed, because
Yeah, that's true. He might actually be pointing out the profiteering when it comes to the COVID-19 vaccine. Now, I am vaccinated, but that still doesn't mean I'm not going to acknowledge that all it was a cash grab. They made it out as a cash grab. The virus is real, yes, but they used the vaccine as a cash grab. Bill Gates and Pfizer and all the people involved, the Democratic Party helped a lot too, because they're funded by Big Pharma and Bill Gates and all that. And that sounds like right-wing talking points, but believe me, there's left-wing arguments about that too.
the problem with our natural immunity is it's free. Society.
Natural immunity, yeah, I don't believe in that. I know people that's had COVID 3 times, so I don't really believe in natural immunity. I don't think I've ever had it, but I don't want to get it. But what about all the people that has died from COVID?
Society is broken, want you locked inside a cubicle, addicted to pornography, liquor, and
Oh, alright. Locked inside of a cubicle. Let's get that line first. What is he?
free. Society is broken, want you locked inside a cubicle.
Society is broke and want you locked inside of a cubicle. Totally agree. Office jobs need to be just done from home. Now, there are arguments about the being around people and just go out sometimes. You don't have to stay cooped up. But still, office jobs, you shouldn't have to waste gas. That's just something rooted in capitalism. Trying to make money off the gas. That's what I feel like. They all work together, the corporations do.
Addicted to pornography, liquor, and pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, I agree, but I don't think the government has any right to ban pornography, alcohol, or, well, pharmaceuticals. That's a different thing. The pharmaceuticals, the problem is, they won't fully legalize all drugs, and they won't test things like LSD and marijuana as pharmaceuticals, which is a lot less deadly than, first of all, LSD is not addictive, but it's a lot less deadly than, it's not deadly at all. Neither LSD or marijuana are deadly, but there are a lot better at curing things like depression, anxiety, things like that. Also, marijuana would also help with cancer patients and things like that. A lot better than painkillers and Adderall and all these drugs that are very addictive and can lead to an overdose.
Tell you that you're fat and poor and you were never beautiful.
Yeah, that has to do with that has a lot to do with the patriarchy and the problems with social media. There are a lot of problems with social media, and it has a lot to do with mainstream culture. These celebrities get up on there and point out what's supposed to be beautiful. Beautiful is in the eyes of the beholder. It's subjective. You don't have to be a certain weight to be beautiful. You don't have to wear makeup to be beautiful. You don't have to buy Gucci and all that materialist crap in order to be beautiful. Beautiful is subjective. And he's got a good point here.
Tweet how much they love you when they hear about your funeral.
That's dark, but I don't really, I mean, yeah, people have fake friends. There are such things as fake friends, but I don't really get the point he's trying to make.
We can't be free, can't have no peace till we're on the same team, but y'all are sheep. Blue to screens just part of the machine. Y'all are sheeple. What do y'all believe? Oh my sheeple. Nothing's what it seems. If they can't convince you, they confuse you. They want you dumb and dead. They divide.
I don't confuse you. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of information out there, and the internet doesn't really help.
Divided you by race, religion, income, and sex. Made every.
What did he say? I think he put down religion there.
So they confuse you. They want you dumb and dead. They divided you by race, religion, income, and sex.
Right? They divide by race, by race, religion, income, and sex. Well, true, and I'm glad he points out the income inequality, finally acting like an actual centrist.
Made everybody right and left, the hatred got so intense.
Made everybody right and left. Oh my god. Liberals are not left-wing. The majority of people are not on the left, even though they wouldn't claim they're on the left anyway. Economically, a lot of people are lean left. No one actually supports capitalism. That is not rich, or that's not a business owner or something. There are very few. There's even like Republicans. A lot of Republicans I know, you talk to them, they may say they support capitalism. If a lot of them don't even understand what capitalism is. But if you talk to them, you can realize they don't actually support capitalism. They're leaning towards something like social democracy, like a mix economy.
If the other side likes oxygen, you'll put a bag on your head. And the conspiracy theories labeled as misinformation is just a terrifying truth that scares the hell out the nation.
The conspiracy theories, I mean, a lot of the conspiracy theories, there are some crazy conspiracy theories out there. You're gonna have to be more specific. Like a lot of the, I do believe in stuff like a new world order, not really his version of what a new world order would be. I believe they're trying to make like a one world government where the United States is in control of everything, and it will be started through neoliberalism, which is what they're trying to do now. The Democrats, thanks to Bill Clinton, has also started doing that. I mean, a lot of Republicans have been doing that. Donald Trump, he actually did one good thing about neoliberalism. He pulled out the TTP bill, which trends something. It was a bill that just allowed us to outsource jobs to foreign countries and rely on other countries for all our resources. And that's what neoliberalism does, and that's why I am a protectionist. But yeah, so.
The system treating you like trash and you got rifles to aim with. Just imagine how they'll treat you when your guns get confiscated.
And you got rifles to aim at, and then he made an argument against gun control. I'm anti-gun, but I actually know a lot of people on the left that are pro-gun, and a lot of Democrats are not anti-gun whatsoever. They barely want basic restrictions on guns, basic regulation. If you're going to regulate driving a car, why aren't you going to regulate a weapon that can kill someone? That is non-cynical. What about the children getting a hold of a gun? Accidents like that happen all the time. What about all the suicides with handguns? And all the shootings with assault weapons? I know it's semi-automatic rifles. I'm going to have someone in the comments be like, actually, there's semi-automatic rifles. Every weapon's an assault weapon.
George Orwell, 1984 was his last.
Yeah, George Orwell. Yeah, I totally agree. That's America. except for your thinking it's the communist whatever. I'm sure, I don't know. But no, George Orwell was a democratic socialist. He was talking about a society where state capitalism and fascism, well, I don't really know about state capitalism, maybe just capitalism, because America is not state capitalism. I don't think America will ever be state capitalism. They want control of the people, not the corporations. So I don't really believe that it will be state capitalism.
Lecture. George called them thought police. Now we call them fact checkers. Government surveillance.
Called them properties. We call them fact checkers. I mean, I don't really care about that. The Misinformation Board by Joe Biden, though, was pre-Orwellian.
Trying to catch you, they don't ask questions.
It was just a target towards the left. That's what it was.
Mass incarceration equals capital for cash investment.
Totally true. Wonderful point. Mass incarceration is just money for cash collectors. All it is, and it has to do with the private prisons as well. All it is just capitalize off of people in prison, imprisoning non-violent prisons. That's why there's a war on drugs, because Richard Nixon wanted to capitalize off of just people minding their own business, and also wanted to be racist because he thought black guys did more drugs. And Mexicans, so yeah, there we go.
The system isn't broke, it's working fine.
Yeah, it is. The system, this is the system. The system's working exactly how it's supposed to, how the capitalists want. The 1% want it all. Money, money, money is all they think about. No, they bribe the politicians, so there'll be no regulations on corporations, and a politician is just complete fascists that want to control every aspect of our lives. And I use the word fascist as nationalist, and you get the picture, but not necessarily. That's more authoritarian rather than fascist. That may not be the right word, but you get the idea.
Oppressive and chaotic is how it was designed. They say if we ain't
oppressive and chaotic, I guess. I don't really know about that. I'm just thinking about it. Capitalist system trying to be controlling. It's all about compliance.
Doing nothing wrong, there's nothing to hide, while their agenda and intelligence complete.
If you're doing nothing wrong, there's nothing to hide. He's talking about the George Bush thing. Here's where he's being an actual centrist. Yes, the NSA needs to be abolished. George Bush needs to be in prison. George W. Bush. And George H.W. Bush? George W. Bush. I think it's George W. Bush. I get those two names confused because they're so similar. But along with Barack Obama, Donald Trump, and Joe Biden, they all belong in prison. And Dick Cheney and Mike Pence. So let's continue.
Classified. They don't teach you rights in school. You never learn them at all because they're easy to remove if you don't know what they are.
True. That's absolutely true.
The only people you can rule are the criminal ones, so they force you into corners till you're breaking the law.
Yeah, that's basically what systemic racism is. Whatever. But, I mean, it also applies to white people. It has to do... He basically just admitted that poverty directly correlates with imprisonment and crime. Yeah. That is a wonderful line, though. That pictures the system perfectly.
We can't be free, can't have no peace till we're on the same team, but y'all are sheep. Blue to screens just part of the machine. Y'all are sheeple. What do y'all believe? Oh, my sheeple. Nothing's what it seems.
Wonderful song. The video, yeah, pretty good. I didn't really pay much attention to the video because I pay too much to the lyrics. I pay too much attention to the lyrics because you never know what he's going to do. Is he going to be truthful about something, or is he going to do the reactionary politics? But anyway, good song nevertheless. Thank you for watching. If you stayed this long, I pause all the time. It's a 3-minute song or 4-minute song, and it's already 34 minutes. 34-minute video. See you next one. Peace out.